Hey, Calvary Church and friends of Calvary Church, appreciate you watching this video, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to kind of tell you what we're thinking and some things that are going on as we try to move forward. First off, the plan is, after we've discussed as a leadership team, we are going to stay in kind of the same phase, the same pattern of ministry that we've been in for the last several weeks. That means we're going to stay with dual worship services at 9/11 on the Lord's Day. We're not going to add in children's ministries of any kind, nursery, children's church, Sunday school, at least for the foreseeable future, which is a change. We'd originally talked about starting those up in August, and we're just going to kind of plan to stay where we are for the time being. The only exception is that we do plan, as soon as we can, to put up some monitors in some different areas that we hope will be a real blessing and encouragement to parents of smaller children who may want to find an alternative place to participate in the service. And so you'll just have to stay tuned. We don't have those up yet, but we plan to get those. Now, the reason there are several reasons that we're thinking this way, but maybe just three would give you a taste and a help to know where we are and what we're thinking. First of all, this, we hope, will avoid kind of gearing up for a new season and then being let down because of because of circumstances beyond our control. With what the state did this last week and how we were ready to go, I know that led to disappointment, and we just kind of want to, be slow and be careful and not run into that kind of situation again. Number two, I think it will allow us to see what happens when the schools start up. I think that might be a good indicator, not only what happens in the schools, but what happens in the environment and the responses around the school, so that we can learn from it. And we need some time to do that as they start the end of this month. And then number three, and very significantly, we're thinking this way because what we're doing is not a hardship and is really not, in very many ways, it's not really negative. I know it's not ideal. It's not our first choice. Some of you have expressed to me disappointment in not being together as one church family, and I get that. But boy, am I thankful. This is way better than online. And it's been a blessing. As I said, I'm just thankful that we have the resources and the personnel, the facility. We just have the willingness that we can do what we're doing, and that it's a good thing. And so, kind of extending that out for the foreseeable future is not, in our view, a negative. And we're thankful that we can go ahead and do that. Thank you so much. For so many of you have expressed kind words of encouragement. You've been gracious. You've been patient with us as we've tried to navigate these waters. Thank you for that. Thank you for praying. And we encourage you to continue to pray. And one thing in particular you can pray for, not only wisdom as we seek to do this. There's very little certainty. One of my life verses in this season is, you don't know what tomorrow will bring. And even our plans could change. We don't know that, so we just want to be submissive to God's will and obedient and trusting Him. But at the same time, kind of putting a hold on our programming does not mean putting a hold on the mission and the ministry of the church. And we want to encourage you to fight if that's a tendency or temptation. And as a leadership team, we are all in trying to equip and encourage you to do the work. More and more people, more and more like Jesus. I'm thinking of, you remember Paul said, even though he was bound in chains, the word of God was not bound. And even though we may feel constrained and limited in this season by measures and restrictions, disciple making need not be limited. It just means we shift. We don't want to just kind of wait until we can get back to doing what we normally do. To try to accomplish the work God's given us. And that means we're going to try to we have to be deliberate, maybe creative, but that we can do this. So we're going to take some Sundays to talk about this, and we want to encourage you to pray in that direction and think in that direction as well. So kind of holding pattern in programming, but I hope not just treading water, not just waiting to get back to normal, whatever that is, to do the work to which God has called us. So pray in that direction as we seek to move forward for God's glory. Thanks.